It's very important to reduce the file size of images before you load them onto your website. This will help the site overall run faster, which can help improve the customer experience and keep them on the site longer. And it can also actually help with your search engine rankings. So to do it, it's very simple. It's a program that is available on all PCs. So I'm just going to use this image here as an example. So when we click on that, you can actually see down the bottom there that the image size here is 5.14 megabytes, which is a very large image file. So just for this example, I'm actually just going to make a copy of that file just so we can keep the original there to compare later. So what you actually need to do is you just want to come up, you want to right click on the image that you're modifying, select Open With, and go Paint. So Paint is a very basic image editing program that's available on all PCs. It doesn't give you a whole lot of options, but it does allow you to resize and crop, which is all we want to do here. So to make this image smaller, you just want to come up here and you want to select Resize. So you want to change this from being percentage to being in pixels. And this will now show the size of the image. As a bit of a guide, if you've got an image that you want to stretch the entire width of your website, you generally shouldn't need anything bigger than about 1800 pixels. Most other places on your site, you can get away with anywhere sort of from 600 to 800 pixels. If you are looking at cropping an image down to say maybe like a square, keep in mind that you want to adjust the vertical one to the size that you want it to be. So if I wanted to turn this image into a sort of 700 by 700 pixel square, I would make that one 700 so that I can crop some of the side off. Once you've selected the width that you're after, just click OK, and you'll see that shrinks down to the size that you're after. So if you were actually wanting now to crop that further, say into a square, you can actually do that just by coming up here and clicking Select. This will turn on a selection box. So move your mouse down until the crosshairs are just on the edge of your image where you want to crop it. Then you just click and hold and you drag out. So you can see down the bottom there, it's actually showing you the dimensions that you are actually cropping it to. So you can just drag that into whatever size until you get that as your square. So we get that to your 700 by 700. And then it's just a matter of selecting crop. So then what we actually want to do is just save that image. And we'll close that down. And you'll see now that that has actually gone from being 5.14 megabytes and it's now sitting at 140 kilobytes, so it's a massive reduction. So we can actually reduce that down even further by compressing it. So to do that, just go to an internet page, type in tinypng.com and hit enter. And you'll be taken to this page here, the little panda. So then what we actually want to do is drag our image onto here and it will actually compress that down even further. Just make that smaller so we can see the background. So if I grab that and drag that into that square, you'll see a little green line appear and I just let that go. And that will now take that down even further. So now we've gone from 143 kilobytes down to 43 kilobytes. So it's made that 70% smaller yet again. So now you actually just want to select download to download a copy of that image. That will then go into your downloads folder. Just refresh so it sits at the top and there it is there. So before we actually upload that onto the website, it's also a really good idea to rename your image. So don't leave it as something generic like what's on here. Actually name it so that it has something to do with your business or the product or the image on display, because all of these image titles can also help with your search engine ranking. So in this case, we might say designer handbags. So I'm just going to grab that image out of there. pop that back into this original folder, just so we can actually see the difference here. So this was our original file, which was 5.14 megabytes. The first reduction took that down to 140 kilobytes, and then after compressing that further, it's taken it down to 42 kilobytes, which will drastically increase the speed on your website.